I don't know. Oh gosh. Oops, that was off. Hello, guys. Take. I don't even remember exactly what take. Probably 5, 10, 6. But welcome to the stream, or should I say video. Why am I saying stream? That shows I'm a bit tired. But anyways, aside from that, welcome to my video. So, this is part 2 or 3 in my series that I'm doing. Let me just check that really quickly. Thankfully, yep, it is my part 2. So this is part 3. Okay, so let's get back into the video and let me actually explain this now. So, I reviewed some of my notes and some of the videos that I basically made, and I was going to edit it all into one video, but it just didn't seem natural or good enough for me to actually put there. So I was like, okay, I'm going to redo this all from scratch. So, anyways, here we go. So, the next thing you need to know is you need to be very much mature, and I've already said this so many different times, but you have to be mature enough and understand, the ways to act in a college setting. High school, middle school, and elementary school, there is times where you have to act a little bit more mature, but, you're still, developing, you're still young. So there's not always a chance that you're going to be as mature as you were when you were in high school. Going into college, some people are still immature when they're in high school, and then they go to college and they're still somewhat immature. You will get some of those different types of people, but don't worry, if you're very much mature and you know how to act, then you will be very much good. You know that there will be counseling. There's counseling everywhere. There's different types of counseling, and I will actually explain that even though I've already given you example through a code pretending school, I guess I'll use my actual school's name, but I will not actually say the whole entire thing. I will just say the code name Sky, which is my main school for my community college. But anyways, so at Sky we have counselors, different ones. So the first one is, like I said, probably in one of the other videos, I'm probably repeating myself a little bit, is your main school and your main place, depending if your school has a sister school. So there's a few sister schools for mine. My main is Sky, and then I have 2 that are named different acronyms. But anyways, yeah, so you'll have one counselor for the place that you're in. One of those counselors will be your regular counselor. Then you'll have another counselor that is your transfer counselor. Then you'll have sometimes an extra transfer counselor sometimes if the other transfer counselor is not there. Also, in a way, you are your own counselor in some ways, because you will have different sheets that you'll look at. Sometimes they'll be online, and they will show what classes you need to finish as far as your major in general in order to get that degree and in order to transfer with that degree. Some degrees are transferable and some are not. Some stay as an AA, and some are just certified certificates. But they are certificates that help you with the job you want to do. For instance, when you get an AA certified certificate for, let's say, nursing, you can work with allied health and you can be a nurse. If you want to get much more higher than that, you might want to go into maybe doctoring or doctorates, being a doctor in a specific field. That would definitely be one of the things. Now, the difference between a regular counselor and a transfer counselor is very different. That counselor, the first one, is generally what classes you need to get done, and the very different little general education / extracurriculars you will need to get finished in order to get your AAT, which is, for some schools they call it an AAT, associate's degree transfer, as some people would like to call it. But yes, an AAT. An AAT basically helps you to transfer to your university that you would like to go to. But even though they have all the stuff that you need, now you need to go to your transfer counselor. Because your transfer counselor is going to have some extra data that you'll need to satisfy. In order to satisfy your degree, you'll need to talk to them so that depending on what school you want to go to, whether it's in your state, mine specifically California, or your state specifically maybe Arizona, then you'll kind of know what classes you need. Excuse me for that. And that was gross and kind of embarrassing. But anyways, you will need to know what classes you need to get done in order for you to transfer to that school, in state, out of state, and out of country. For instance, my long list of schools, some of them are in state, and some of them are in Northern California because I'm in California, Northern California, Southern California, and then some of them are out of state, and some of them are out of the country. Because I would love to go to a lot of these different schools, and also because I'd like to keep my options open, and also because I'm very passionate about a lot of different things, and it'll help me out as to where I need to go. Okay? Especially if you're doing 2 majors. Because you can sometimes double major, and if the other major doesn't work out, that can become a minor. Now, whichever one you get, that's awesome. You'll get 2 different degrees, and it will help you in satisfying the degree and the jobs that you would like to do. Make sure that every single degree that you take, make sure you have certain types of jobs that factor into that type of degree, meaning some type of experience. So if your degree is an art degree, have taken a lot of different jobs of experience, they don't exactly have to be exactly the job that you're going to do, but similar, things that are in the arts. Of course, you do want a few within your major, if you can. It just depends on, what's out there at the time. But definitely, that's one of the things that you definitely want to think about. You definitely want to get some jobs while you're in college, because it will help you in the long run when you're done with your degree and you start finding jobs. After you're done with your degree, you won't really have to go back to school for a while unless you decide to get a higher degree. But it's one of those things to understand so that once you are done with that, then it will be much easier for you to find a job. But at the same time, do know that as much as you do have the experience and everybody else will definitely have some type of experience along with that for their degree. Meaning that you'll have, this is the way that my one of my old teachers used to explain it, but you'll usually have about 1,000 different people going for the same job that you are going for. And definitely, to me, if you have a passion for it and you love it, that's awesome. That's what you want. You do not want a job just because you want the money and this and that. Please think about things from a personal level. Do I love this? Am I passionate about it? Because at the end of the day, you do know that this is a job that you're going to be doing for a long, long, long amounts of time. And, having that passion, having that drive, and having that interest in that job that you're doing will be well worth it. And I think anybody can do it. It's just a very long, 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 long slope to get it done. Now, going back to college understanding, I'm not going to exactly show it, but you will also get an ID. Usually it's about this thick, well, not this thick, this small, and somewhat, in some ways, this thick. Just making sure that certain things aren't being shown for personal reasons. But yeah, should be about this thick. Okay? So let me just make sure that nothing was showing that it's not supposed to be showing. Boopy doo, boopy doo doo dee doo. Okay, good. Very much good. Alright, so yeah, it'll be that small. And basically with this type of ID does for you is it helps you with benefits. When you're at school, whether it's university or community college, depending on what benefits or what things you have at your school, it'll help you get discounts on produce. It'll also get you discounts on food. So let's say you don't really have the produce, you can't really go to the soup kitchen or the test kitchen or the kitchen they have in the dorms. Let's say if you're in a university or in community college, you don't have time to make the food that you'd like to eat at this time. Well, if you don't have that time, the best thing to always go to is one of the cafeterias, one of the food places, and if you have your ID, you'll be able to get a discount. Every student is supposed to. For my school, we get it every Tuesday of every first week of the month. We get a 15% discount on the food that we get from the cafeteria, because sometimes we don't have enough time to get any food because we have so many different classes we have to go to, and we don't have a lot of time to dilly-dally. So that's definitely something that you should definitely understand, because there is times where you will not have a lot of time to eat, and you're going to need that fuel in order to learn, and your professor is not going to wait for you. They're going to start right on that time for the most part. Some professors are pretty chill and they'll, wait, but for the most part, they will not wait. Once class starts, it starts. Also, if let's say, this teacher's not doing so well for you and you don't feel like you're doing so well, you have the right to definitely withdraw the class with a W or without a W, depending on what date. There's a specific date for withdrawing without a W and getting maybe half of your money that you that you use to purchase the class or to buy the class / take the class, basically enrolling. But you won't get all of that money back, but you'll get a good amount of it back after you drop. Also, but then if you also drop with AW, you will also maybe get a chance to get maybe even just a smidge amount of money back from what you paid for. Okay, so that's definitely one of the things that you can definitely do. If a teacher is not doing so great for you, and you know that it's not exactly your fault, or in some ways it may be a little bit of your fault, depending, but mostly it is the way that they're organized, or you just don't like the teacher, or you feel like you need to do this, go and do something that people would do is called an appealing process. An appealing process is to appeal a grade that you got that was not so good, that in a lot of ways was not your fault because of the way that the professor was teaching, whether they were not organized, whether they were giving too much things and it just seemed like it was too big of an exception, or not exception, too big of a amount of things to do. Such as there's some professors, and I'm not gonna say much, but I know friends and even myself where there has been some professors where literally you'll have 9 or 10 books in a small semester, and it's like you have to read all these books when you have like literally 4 or 5 more classes to also deal with along with this one class that literally has 9, 10 books to read. And try and adapt. There is going to be times where you're going to aside from appealing your grades, one of the things you can also do is, if you are willing to, and if you have the benefits to, or if you are a really good student, one of the best things to also do, because sometimes appealing is not exactly the best thing when this professor will most likely be very, very organized and very, very good at what they're doing. You're going to have to do something we like to call adapting. You have to adapt to the professor, and you have to understand what they need to get done. Sometimes some of these things will be very, 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 very big, but at least you're not going to be reading a lot of different things. Some professors will ask for big essays, some professors will ask for this, some professors will ask for that. One of the other things you should also know is how to annotate and how to actually get your stuff done. What I mean by that is, either reading the book, which is what you're supposed to do, but sometimes, there might be a day that you don't read a chapter and you are going to need to skim. Not the best thing to do. I do not condone it, but sometimes it does happen. But then make sure to read it later when you have a chance to. But sometimes you might have to skim a little bit. You might have to relearn some things. You might have to understand certain things. You might have to relearn some concepts. And that's okay. There's different ways to study, different ways to learn, and different ways to get your full understanding of the curriculum and the course that you're learning. And that takes a little bit of time, depending on how much you know about the subject. Also, one thing's awesome to do and is cool to do is if you don't know how to cite well for, let's say, an essay, MLA formatted essay, one of the best things you can always use is what we like to call a citation machine or a easybib website that basically manufactures your quoted in a specific way, so that cited in a specific way so that you can cite it at the bottom of your works cited page. That works cited page, if you guys don't know what that is basically one page by itself that cites every little thing that you're talking about, because these are not always your own words. These are words from other authors, writers, professors, people, and news articles, online articles, news. Did I just say newspaper? Yeah, newspapers, encyclopedias, definitions, etc. Okay, so you're going to need to know how to cite those. Also, in an English class, you're definitely going to have to learn how to cite in an essay form, especially for an MLA format. As far as knowing when to put the parentheses, when to put the person's name, when to put the page number of the person that you're quoting, and all of those things. And they always come in on every single essay you do, whether it's MLA, APA, Chicago, sometimes even not only Chicago, but Tribune, etc. These are different types of ways of citing, and they're all for different types of ways of studying. For the most part, almost every teacher, no matter what type of subject, most of the time usually will say MLA, because it's the most easiest for most people to cite. Then you've got APA, which is more for the psychology classes, anything in science or health, usually is the APA. And then usually Chicago is for the historicals, anything that has to do with the historicals, or with the social justice type, journalism type citing that you usually need to do. Then there's the Tribune, which is usually used for a lot of times journalism. It depends on your teacher, but these are like some of the main ones that you would do. So I will definitely put those links down below for you to understand how to use the citation machines, first of all, and also how to cite your essays. I will probably put one of the Purdue examples of a sample essay of how to cite your stuff. Definitely you need to know how to do it old-fashioned way, but if there's no time and it's hard for you, you're still not used to citing, sometimes using that citation machine or that easybib process can very much help you with learning how to cite your papers, because you're going to definitely need that when you go to college, when you transfer to university, when you decide to get your undergraduate degree of master's, and your undergraduate or not your undergraduate, your graduate of your master's, and then your master's to your PhD, if you decide to go that far. Along with that, then you've got also the social events that you'll definitely need to learn and or enjoy, because those are things that definitely will help you understand not only the college experience, but also in a lot of ways, like I've said before, and probably a lot of people have said before, it's another way to network. Every single friend or person that you meet in college, whether or not it's a club or anything, is a type of networking to help you with not only maybe your future jobs that you'd like to do, but also just so that you can have a lot of different friends and different people to relate to. Because there will be times where you'll definitely, when you're in high school and elementary school and middle school, there's going to be people that are going to go, hey, let's become friends and this and that. But sometimes there's not going to be that many people that are going to do that. So you're going to have to definitely be open-minded, and you're going to have to say, hey, this is me, Alfonso. How are you? How was your day? And then talk about other things and then become friends. Okay, I will be right back with the other part. All right, I'm back. Sorry I had to stop. So, going back to what I was saying. So yeah, you're going to have to learn how to adapt, and you're definitely going to have to have those connections, because those connections will help you in the future. But also because you want to make some good friends, and you definitely want to have some really good friends that you can relate to, because it's part of that college experience, and it's also a fun way to learn about yourself, because as you grow older, and of course it happens in elementary school, middle school, and high school, and college, is that you notice that as you get older, everybody changes, everybody learns, everybody not only matures, but also learns about different people that they're interested in, different people that they can kick it with, and different people that they cannot kick it with, or different people that work with them better, and different people that even if they can't kick it with before, for some odd reason they can kick it with them now. Now, if you're wondering what I mean by kick it, it's a California term for the most part, and it's also a term that is used a lot in different people's slang, especially in Northern California. If you guys know the references that most people would use, then you might get my references that I'm saying. And if not, I am so sorry that you're so confused. Give me 1 second here. Just trying to fix something. Okay, good. Going back to the video. So, along with that, you're going to have to also understand a few other things. So, I've already talked about that. Okay. All right, good. So now the next thing you need to also understand is prices, okay? So you want to go to university, awesome for you. But that's also a lot of money. Sometimes it's going to be hard for a lot of you guys. So if that is so, then what I would very much recommend is to go to a community college for 2 to 3, maybe a little bit more, depending, years, and then transferring to a university so that you'll save a little bit of your money, and so it'll be easier for you. Now, I can go into more detail about this a little bit later, but that's the best way that I can explain that, is that to me, it would be much better for you to do that, to save a little bit more money. But if you can definitely afford it, or if your different programs such as FAFSA or FAFSA and or scholarships and or loans that aren't too pricey, that you're able to use to make yourself go straight to state, then go for it. All for you. I'm happy for you. But it's definitely gonna be a lot of work to do. So please, once you decide to choose a college, make sure to understand those factors, because unannounced to you, there's a good chance, and sometimes it isn't always like this, but it can happen, that maybe your parents won't be really paying for your college, or they'll pay for your college with the money that they've saved up for you, but that's about it. Let's say you need extra amount of money for this or that, and it's more expensive than the money that you had saved up for your child to go to college, then you definitely want to get an extra job, get some extra jobs to support yourself and help you as you're in your college, because along with that, after the first few years, finishing university, some students and some people I know, after they're done, they're like, oh yeah, my school won't let me get another dorm, or oh yeah, the dorms are a bit full, so I might have to get my own apartment or get this and that. So you're gonna have to learn how to provide for yourself. Of course, you have to already learn how to do that once you're outside of high school. Once you go to college, once you have your own job and all that jazz, but you'll even have it more now. Now that you're out of college, because now that you're out of college and university, you've got a lot of different things to look forward to. Either a job, possibly, if you can make it. Sometimes you might have to live with your parents for a little bit before you find your job. That can also happen too. But at the same time, it's one of those things where after you're done with that degree, you go up to either your master's or your PhD, and the better amounts of different types of jobs that you do and different types of experiences that you do will definitely help you out with the classes and the ever flowing understanding that you will need to have some types of experiences for each of those degrees, so that it will help you out with your jobs in the future. Also, like I said, it's a way for you to experience college in a greater, bigger aspect of things. Anyways, I wish I had more that I could say right now, but apparently it's not coming into my head right now. So I'm going to end it here. This is part 3. Part 4 will be coming in very, very soon. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys can comment down below if there is anything you guys would like to, if you are in college or have finished college or going back to college to get another degree. What are some of your tips for these incoming freshmen? Is there anything interesting that you guys have that they will definitely learn and that they will definitely need to know? Is there anything that I may have forgotten to talk about that I'll probably talk about in my next video? Or is it pretty much what I've said has been very much explained in the best way possible? Anyways, I will talk to you guys in the next video. This is U140550 signing out, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Oh, by the way, before I leave, there will be a video here, my subscription, and one other person down below that will be, if you're on your computer, will be all annotated on the sides of here. So 2 different videos, my subscription, their subscription, and along with that, there will also be links down below if I can put them down there. If I forget to put them down there, I'll probably edit and put it down there. But I hope to put in everything that I can into that video. Anyways, finally, I am out. See you guys later. Peace.